Welcome to Raefe Jenkins podcast. Hey, we are here to help entrepreneurs either start, either grow, or maybe even sell your business. We're here with Edward Ang. How you doing, bud?
Doing pretty good. How about you?
I'm doing great. Hey, tell us a little bit about yourself, your backstory. I know you're from you spent a lot of time in Chicago. You're in Houston now, but tell us your backstory and a little bit about your life.
Sure. Yeah, I was born and raised in Chicago. I stayed there for most of my life, and then I moved overseas to Taiwan. I was there for about 11 years. Then I moved back to the States, and I moved to Houston, and I've been here since 2014.
That's awesome, man. And you started a business called WAD,
Mm-hmm.
correct?
Yes.
And tell us about that business.
Yeah, the business is called WAD. It's a mobile app, which is also called WAD. It stands for WAD of Deals. And at the heart of it, it's a free application for businesses to post up their deals or products or services for free. And consumers can also download the app for free, and they get to see all of the deals, products, and services that businesses post up based on their location. So it's a location-based app. They can also search by location too if they want to, or choose the different categories, which filters the information in the app. So again, that's why it's called a lot of deals, because it's like you've got a pocket full of deals all through our mobile app. There's also a rewards points. There's also a points program that's involved with the app. It's a universal reward system. So merchants can choose to reward points to their customers if they like to through the app as well. So that's really the gist of the app. There's lots of different functions and features in the app as well, but I don't think I need to go into all of those details just yet. I don't want to bombard everybody with all of the little details of the app.
Yeah, they just got to download and experience it themselves. So if I were to download the app
Mm-hmm.
and let's say I'm in New Orleans,
Mm-hmm.
and in New Orleans I'm looking for a financial advisor, I could download the app, go to New Orleans and look for a financial advisor, correct? Is
Yep.
that how it works?
Yep.
Awesome.
So if anybody that downloads the app signs up for an account, or it's free, and the first thing you open it up as a consumer, there's a nearby section or a nearby tab. That's the first tab that's you're going to see, and you're going to see all the deals, products, and specials that are closest to you. And then there's a search feature. If you want to search for a particular service, like you said, you can do that as well, or you can search by a location. So say you're in New Orleans, but you want to come to Houston, Texas, you can switch your location to Houston, Texas, just for a little bit and see what's up in the area. So it kind of gives you an idea of what deals and specials and products and services there are in particular areas.
Yeah, and honestly, it's kind of like I look everything from a sales perspective. It's really good at like generating leads. So
Mm-hmm.
if I was going to Salt Lake City and I was looking for people, that do roofing, and I know like, hey, this is my specialty is roofing and like selling to people who are roofers, it'd be good to download that and then actually find all the roofers in the area.
Yeah,
So
it's very useful for businesses and consumers. At the heart of it, where our goal is to match up these businesses with consumers based on what they're looking for, and they can do that either through their specials or just feature their most popular product or service. And
awesome. That's
yeah,
cool.
the other thing I was going to mention is yeah, it's a mobile app where you have everything in one place, right? You don't have to go to different places to look for different deals or specials or products. It's just all in one place.
Nice. That's really cool. So how did you come up with that name? That's a real catchy name.
Yeah.
And
So
did
there's
it take you a while? Was it like overnight or like how'd that work?
no, it definitely took us a little while. We had some other names in the past. There's some story on that. So a little more of the backstory on how we developed this app. I have a business partner, one of my business partners. He was also from Chicago. We grew up together, and he ran a couple of businesses in Chicago. One was a Japanese restaurant in the north side of Chicago, and then after he sold that restaurant, which was successful. He opened up a retail store on the south side of Chicago. And it was kind of like an overstock.com. I don't know if you know what that is or the
Yeah.
audience knows what that is, but they have lots of products that have been overstocked. They sell them at discounted prices, so they're really good deals for consumers. So he had that kind of business, but it was a physical store in the south side of Chicago. And he just had these awesome deals. For example, he had like a Kenneth Cole jacket for $75 and they were selling it at Macy's for $150. So it was half the price. It was such a great deal, but he's just a small store in the south side of Chicago. So he was thinking, how do I get the word out about all these deals that I have? And, all the advertisement out there was very expensive, online, offline, TV, radio, things like that, and mail flyers. They're all very expensive. And if you were to run some of those marketing and advertising campaigns, he would totally lose money because he had spent all his money on advertising and marketing and still didn't guarantee customers into his store. So he came up with this idea to build this app to feature all of those things for businesses for free and generate customers through the app. So he came up to me with the idea. Long story short, I accepted um, the deal to work on it with him, and yeah, we developed it. It took us 3 years to develop. Started in 2018, and we recently launched, and we've got hundreds of merchants in there already. So that's kind of the story of how the app came about. And originally we had some other names like Nomad. People roaming around looking for
Right.
things. We felt that brand wasn't strong enough, so we kept that things. Worked on the business model and fleshed out wireframes for the app, and then we came up with another name called Savvy Angel, and that kind of sounded a little like little iffy. It sounded like some sites that we didn't want to associate ourselves with. So we weren't happy with that, and then eventually, yeah, my business partner came up with this name, and it really stuck, and we went with it. And we think that, it's a short name.
Catchy, man.
Yeah, it's catchy, and yeah, the brand is very powerful, and it really describes what we're about.
Yeah. Yeah. Is it hard developing an app?
You said, is it hard developing an app?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult, with something like this. At the
It seems competitive too. It seems like right now everyone's either wanting to be a YouTube star or develop an app. Like that's
Yeah,
like
I
the
mean,
trend. So I wonder how competitive it is and what have you experienced in the process of developing something like this?
well, there's a couple of things. Apps are not new in these days. But people, you're right, are still looking to develop apps. So there's definitely a lot of competition. And there are lots of things out there already. So it's kind of, a challenge to find something new to build that's valuable. That's one thing. And I am actually a software engineer. I went to school for software engineering, but I didn't develop. It's just way too complex. We have a whole development team that developed this. So the app and the face of it is very simple, but under the hood, the engine is very complex. And oftentimes when you build an app, I think that's um, part of the DNA of successful apps. You make it as simple as possible on the UI UX side, but the heavy lifting is done through the engine, and you can't really see that because that's what's happening in the background. So
Yeah.
those are some challenges of designing and building a successful app.
Yeah, one thing you just said is you're a developer, but you had someone else develop it.
Hmm.
So was it a third party? Was it a group of people that you actually hired that are in house?
Yeah, it's our own team, that we're working with. So
Great.
yeah, we just have our whole team working on this. It's a lot of work. Um,
How many people do you have?
um, we have, oh well, I mean, we have a whole development team. We have a sales team. So there's quite a few people at our place.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So this is what I'm getting at. So you're a developer, you're an entrepreneur, you come up with this creative ideas, and 9 times out of 10, whenever someone has an idea and they know they could do it themselves, they do it themselves. But in this particular situation, you do the smarter thing, which is delegate,
Hmm.
you know?
Hmm.
And I think that's one of the hardest things for entrepreneurs to figure out is
Yeah.
although you can do something, you should not do it.
Hmm.
So like talk about the success of, hey, we instead of you doing it all yourself and like from 7 in the morning to 2 o'clock at night, you're developing this app. And instead of you doing that, you found a team. Like talk about your journey of finding the right people, developing them while they're developing the app, and just the journey of teamwork of actually launching this thing.
Sure. Yeah. There's a couple of things here. One key thing that you said is delegating, and I think as um, people are working at a company, building a company, that is a very critical and very tough skill to hone. And yeah, you have to really do that in order to, as we mentioned at the beginning of the podcast, scale, right? And you can't take everything on yourself. Otherwise, you're not going to grow because you're not passing on knowledge. You're not using leveraging the skills of other people, which are oftentimes uh, better than your own. It's like here's Steve Jobs, one of his maybe famous quotes, or maybe he stole it from somebody else. You've got to hire people that are smarter than you, or work with
Exactly.
people that are smarter than you. So that's one thing. And then I'm sorry, the other question you had was,
No, I mean, we're
I'm
just
sorry.
talking in general, like just the journey of delegating, because it's a mental thing. Like
Right.
entrepreneurship is all mental. Like it
Yeah.
really is. Like a
Yeah.
lot of people, once they get that money, they want to keep it instead of put it back in the business. And
Yeah.
instead of, hiring a team, they want to do it all themselves. There's a lot of mental blocks you have to go through. So like
Right.
you as a developer and having a developing team, I thought, this is a really good topic for people to understand. Like
Yeah.
if they can just figure out, hey, you can't do it yourself. You have to actually develop a solid team, and then you just voicing your opinion on what I
Yeah.
just said. I mean,
So
that would
you
that
reminded
would
me
be
of
beneficial.
well, yeah, you reminded me of what I was going to say. Thank you for that. Yeah, I can't take on all the work myself. Otherwise, I wouldn't be going out and talking to the businesses and signing them up and letting them know about this app, right? If I was doing all the development, this app would never grow. So, that's really key again for the delegation, right? We've got to
Right.
have the people that are doing certain things. We got to do so many things. So, certain people that are good at that, like the development, go ahead and take on that, right? I'll focus on growing the business. And then, as you said, growing your company too. And one key thing is that, one thing that I've heard over the years is you got to be careful of who you bring on as a team, right? It's kind of like the hire slow, let go fast, because for a couple of things, talent, but also people that are really adamant about what you're building. They have to really be 100% involved and understand like what the vision is, what the goal is, and what the executables are, right? So yeah, it's you got to be kind of careful of who you bring on, because it's a big cost, right? To bring people onto a company, it's the most expensive cost, one of the most expensive costs. So you got to find people that are really understand the business, really are go-getters, and really have an attitude of finding solutions to many of the challenges that come up with building and growing this company. And sometimes it doesn't work out, so you just got to let people go if they're not if they're not a good fit. So yeah, those are definitely some challenges with growing a company.
Exactly. Exactly. And it's finding the right person and putting them in the right place. I mean, it's kind of like, you're from Chicago. I mean, you've obviously heard of the guy Michael Jordan. Some people may say LeBron's better, Kobe's better, or whatever. But like, let's just assume, hey, everyone agrees Michael Jordan, he's the best basketball player of all time. So Michael Jordan, if he was put in the wrong position, he wouldn't be Michael Jordan. if he was like as a center, if he was like, like maybe even playing for another team or like not around the team, like Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman and all those guys, like,
Hmm.
there's obviously a dynamic of finding the right people, putting them in the right place, and then putting other great people around them that
Hmm.
really excels, because it's really the community that
Hmm.
drives out the best in people, and it's their job description. It's this whole thing. It's this
Hmm.
whole journey. And before the broadcast, we were talking about scaling. In my opinion, I want to hear your opinion. Like, what's the easiest way to scale? What's the easiest way to really maximize your sales and drive revenue into your company? Is it delegating, or is it something else? What would be your opinion?
Well, I think it's a couple of things, and it varies for businesses. I don't think there's like a silver bullet for all businesses, but delegating across the board is definitely important, I think, for most businesses. And I think, again, for most businesses, in order to scale, you got to leverage the tools that are out there, right? You use the internet, social media. You got to work hard, and you got to work smart, right? I mean, you can be really smart, but not use tools to leverage your time. Just like delegating, you got to be smart about your time, and time is money, because the more time you spend on things, that the more money it costs you. Especially if you're, a founder of a company, your time is extremely valuable because you've got to go out and grow that business, right? So if you're doing some of that, and you're not using the tools out there, like reaching out via email, or even just calling, or joining associations or chambers of commerce or things like that, you're um, you're taking away from a lot of your time. So I think those are some key things, to keep in mind when trying to grow a company.
That's awesome. And you started with the business partner.
Hmm.
Obviously, you're pro, partnering with people. I've heard several different people say several different things, but why is it a good fit for you to have a business partner, and for someone else that's considering partnering with someone else? What kind of suggestion would you give them on getting the right business partner, and maybe
Yeah.
the equity, or is it like a salary, or are you contracting them out? What are the different options they could think about?
Well, I mean, it kind of goes back to that Michael Jordan example, and even, delegating too, and finding the right people. I think it's very beneficial to find a partner. It's tough though. Some people may never find it, and they go at it alone, and that's totally doable too. But if you do find a partner, it's very beneficial, right? Because, I'll give an example of when I went through the coding boot camp that I went through for software engineering. We did a lot of pair programming, and you get a lot of feedback, right? When you're working together on something and you're trying things, you're iterating on your process of trying things. So that is a beneficial thing if you can find a partner, right? You get a lot of, you discuss a lot of things, you have a lot of ideas on the table, you start prioritizing things, you delegate, hey, you do this stuff, I'll do that stuff. Those are all benefits of having a business partner or business partners. And again, it's all about spreading the task around and being the most efficient with the time, right, across the people.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. Well, let's go ahead and clear this topic up. Is Michael Jordan the best basketball player from a guy that is from Chicago, or do you even care?
um I mean, I think he's definitely up there. He
He's the
probably
man.
still he
He is
probably
the man.
yeah, he probably still is.
Do you
uh,
like sports or no?
yeah, I do.
You
um
got to like sports if you're from Chicago, bro.
yeah, I mean, I
You
grew up
better like
watching
Michael
Jordan.
Jordan, dude.
Yeah, I grew up watching Jordan. I mean, yeah, he's incredible. I mean, it's he even had said it himself. The goat topic is kind of like almost irrelevant, because you have people different, greats playing in different eras. I mean, how could you ever? It's pretty much impossible to really truly compare it, because they're not playing all in the same eras.
Right.
So, and
He
they all
was
have
just the best version of himself. And for all you guys being entrepreneurs, you go on the entrepreneur journey. Like, just be the best version of you.
exactly. I
If
mean,
you want to
you should
develop an app, or if you want to, create, e-commerce, or be a service company, or build a
hmm
product, just be the best version of you, and then find a
exactly.
team that can help. and then you can help them become the best version of them.
Yeah, you shouldn't compare yourself to others. You should only compare yourself to yourself. I mean, it just hurts yourself to continuously compare yourselves to others or look at competitors. I mean, it's good to do market research and understand what tools are out there and what's going on. But at the end of the day, you just gotta continue to improve yourself and your own company.
Exactly. All right. So how do they find you? How do they find the app? And what's the best way for people listening to connect with you?
Yeah, the easiest way to find the app is to go to either of the app stores, the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. Just search for WAD, WADD. It'll pop up and download it. It's free to sign up for all businesses and consumers. There's even a preview function when you download the app. You can take a look at it from the business side or the consumer side without even signing up to take a look at it and see what's in there. But yeah, that's how you find us. And anybody can reach out to me. My email address is Edward Eng. It's EDWARDENG at mywad.com. And mywad is spelled MYWADD.
Awesome. All right. Hey, I'm going to open it up. Final comments before we end.
Sure.
And any additional thoughts or any suggestions, anything you can make, or any advice you could give on for entrepreneurs trying to start their business that you haven't said already, or you may just want to reiterate. I'm just going to open it up for you to say whatever you want to say at the end of the broadcast, and then we'll close out.
Yeah, I think with kind of almost everything that's challenging in life, when starting and growing a business, you have to not obviously work hard and work smart too, but have faith in your own business. Have faith in what you're doing and believe in it, and just continue to do that every day. Until whatever your goals are, whatever your vision is. And even then, things change. So there's no kind of don't get too caught up in past. Don't get caught up in too much in the future. Just believe in it and go for it every day.
Exactly. That's awesome. Edward, thank you for your time, man.
Thanks a lot, Rafe. I appreciate it.
Take care.
You too.